Happy Father's Day. Today I decided to do something special for fathers. Do a little show and tell first. Morning dove. It's just messing around. A little bit more work. That'll be pretty spectacular. Let's see. Here's some Ohio Flint Ridge. For some of you fellow nappers who know what this is, I bet you're jealous. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to touch this piece for a long while. Oh, let's see what else do I got. Another piece I'm working on. Today I'm just goofing around with stuff. This one here is my pride today. This is Aquashikla. It comes from my hills. I got a little bit more work to do to that one yet too. Taking my time with it. Smaller piece of Ohio Flint Ridge. This one's pretty crusty, it's not cooperating. Here's one I did earlier from a Budweiser bottle. Nothing fancy, nothing to write home to mom about, but yeah. Alright, what else do I got? Mahogany. Big piece of hornstone. These are all just preforms. Some of them, anyway. Some frog skin. Some odd reason I keep finding this stuff. I ain't complaining. And I got a bunch more stuff. I just don't feel like going through so much of it. Another piece of Aquashikla. That one. Take down many a big game with that. There's a nice chunk. I'm gonna rip into this one later. I'm cleaning house here, so finding stuff I forgot I even had. I have no clue what this is. I think it's rhyolite, but it's got some neat colors in it. A dirty red, white, and pink. It's also not cooperating. But anyways, there we go. I believe this is Pennsylvania jasper. I got very, very, very few pieces of this, and I love this stuff. I just got done making a very tiny point. Well, I guess I should have been a little bit more prepared. But anyways, I made a real small point. I have no clue where it is now. Ah, there it is. Wait till you see this one. This is definitely a bird point. It's hard to tell, I guess. It's not thin. Too tiny. I can't do much more work with it, so I kept it smooth on this end, and I'll make a necklace out of it for some lucky lady or some lucky boy. We might be getting a visit from a catbird. He's been harassing us today. The wife decided to cut the grass along the border of the property line here, and it sat right next to her, lifting its tail and opening its wings. It scared the hell out of her. Yeah. But right now he's about maybe 20 feet from me, sitting on my post. And he keeps challenging me. I don't want no trouble, catbird. I'm not a violent man. Anyway, let's see what we can do with this. Are we in view? By Lordy, we are. It's gonna be a good day. Yeah. Last night I was on one of the local fish and pearl shows. Had a great time with Josh and Tammy. Josh is a real character. Very good guy. Look at the colors in that. That is something else. Now this is going to be a tricky piece. Simply because it's bowed. So I'm going to do what I can with it. Ooh, hang on a moment. I'll explain this in a moment. White sage. Some people use it to ward off evil spirits. My wife's still here, so it doesn't work for that. But it does help with my sniffles. Alright, enough of my horse play. Put that in the bucket right in front of us here. Smells good, right? Yeah. That catbird's getting closer. Thinned it out pretty decently. Now it's just a matter of getting rid of this hump here. Slowly but surely. Got a very thin edge right here. So we got to be very ginger with it. Stuff like this I usually throw away, but not when it's something rare. It's rare, I keep on working on it the best I can. And like I say in most of my videos, even if I get something this big out of it, I'm happy with that. Because sometimes this stuff is just too beautiful to waste. Even if I'd make a teardrop, or a heart, or something. This stuff comes from a gentleman up north in New York. I know his first name is Michael. I do not know his last name offhand. He has his own web page. He creates big points. A lot of people do. And when the chips are like laying around, a lot of people don't believe in letting them lay around for a lot of reasons. Because they could be dangerous to animals or children, or as they say, they don't want the stuff laying somewhere, so an archaeological team comes along and misidentifies it. So I buy the chips. I don't have a problem with that because I can work them. It's like one man's trash is another man's treasure. But anyway, he sent me quite a big box full of stuff. And I pretty much went right through the whole box as fast as possible. Because I was more interested in the jaspers. The stuff I collect is jasper, but it's not as nice as this stuff. It's very rare here. And what places do have it, it's illegal to take out. It's a very big fine. People still do it, but I don't support it. Regardless if it's there for the people or not, it's still a law. Laws are there for a reason. I kind of seen what people done to places in Ohio just for Flint Ridge. When you get dollar signs in your eye, you won't think twice of just digging big holes everywhere in the ground, and you know, when you're done, just don't put the dirt back. It's just wrong. The notices bowed. Still a little humpy here, and here as well. But you can see the bow. And where was it? Right in here, there's some red and yellow. And I've noticed with a lot of stuff that the jaspers especially, sometimes when you have a color change like these, it'd probably be brown to you, but to me it's brownish yellow because it's a multitude of colors inside. There's some red in there as well. But anyway, the yellow flakes real thin, real beautiful. The red's not too bad, it's a little closer. But a lot of times this white stuff, it's very hard to work. And sometimes you get purple. And when you get purple, the purple is just, it's nasty. And it can really ruin a point. See, like this one, a lot of white in there. I've been working on this the last couple of days. And I feel I'm getting a little too out of hand with it or whatever. I'll set it aside and get to a better day. I could cook it. I've tried 350 at 4 hours. It seemed to help a little. But the wife got a new stove. Yeah, I'm not allowed to touch it. She got a new lawnmower too. Same rule applies. I'm okay with that. Not a big fan of mowing grass. Move out of that spot because it's getting to be a bit much right there. Alright. The wife's home. She's walking around upstairs. I'm waiting for her to come down and complain about something. I think maybe some of you are too. She just got done mowing the grass. She's got big plans. That means Dave's got a lot of work ahead of him. For Father's Day, so far I got a Bluetooth stereo system in the home here. So I can listen to music while I do this. Today I decided not to listen to music while I'm making a video. If you enjoy these videos, don't be afraid to comment. I'm always curious to see what people think. Kind of helps my head expand. One viewer told me he likes my storytelling. Still got that hump there. And we still got the skin right there. So let's work on getting that away. So I'm going to work the thin side here and work inward, try to get rid of some of that skin. This is where it gets interesting because sometimes everything just... The stone feels very good, so we'll bless it a little bit with sage, see if that helps. Seems to be working rather well. This one here, if I can keep it in a diamond shape, should come out really nice. There's a line of quartz running right there. It's usually hard to get through as well. Okay, trying to keep center line here. Got a new cushion. Took the stool apart. People really notice that when you take the top of a stool apart. It seems to make people sad. I'm okay with it. I'm not sad. I'm actually pretty happy today. It's been a pretty good weekend. Nice shot. I think our little cat bird buddy's gone. All right. Starting to take on a lens shape, which is good. Such a nice looking stone. I take my scraps and I have separate boxes. Some are like a junk pile, which means I'll get back to them another day. And some of them are just like for tumbling. My buddy loves tumbling, so I keep him in business. We went out the other day and got some more ghost stones at the river. That's a potato. That's what the wife calls that. Ah. These are tumbled ghost stones. These are beautiful. See? These are actually white when they sit out in the islands. And if it rains, you can see they change colors. They won't look like this when they're wet. As soon as it rains just a little bit or there's some moisture in the air, it just explodes in color. And then I pick them up, and like I said, my buddy tumbles them. He gave me a tumbler, so I'm going to start doing the same thing. Look at that one. I ain't kidding you. These are white till they get wet. Then you know there's something, and then you tumble them, and then they turn out beautiful. This next one's my favorite. Look at that. Ain't that gorgeous? Yeah, but you can't have that one. This next one here, it's got all kinds of colors in it. Look at that one. Oh, yeah. We do sell these. Not these. These are mine. Because I like them too. Ooh, look at that one. This one actually has a little small universe inside of it if you hold a light to it. Hold it up to the sun, but that ain't gonna help you none. But this one here's got a big clear center in it, and there's all kinds of stuff floating around in there. Pretty awesome. One more. Excuse me. Look at this one. All right. Enough of my horseplay. The other box is back there, or I'd show you what they. Actually, I'll grab one. Give me a second. Sorry about that. It's a ghost stone. And this one turned wet yesterday. It turned brown inside. There's a bunch of little quartz pockets in it, so I'm kind of curious to see how this one turns out. Sometimes these don't turn out so well, but for the most part, they're going in a tumbler. Small potato. Like I said, the wife calls them that because they turn like different shades of brown. They actually look like a peeled potato when they're wet. This is a ghost stone. This is what they look like. And when they're wet, this one's actually got some red in it. There. I'll tilt it a few times, maybe that'll help. This one's got red spots in it. Red spots, white spots, some deeper browns. See a green spot, another green spot. But once this is tumbled, who knows what it's going to look like. It's going to be pretty. I know it will. All right. Back to work. I actually think I'm going to keep this in the kite shape. And then if I do notch it, it'll be ready to go. I'm trying to avoid doing like a side desert notch out of these because it's a desert side notch. I mean, they look cool and everything, but Pennsylvania jasper, I don't think that's what it should look like. It's really nice. Sometimes you go through the box and you're like, oh. Yeah, it's just that exciting. I gotta get a new, that's what I wanted to get at the hardware store yesterday. I couldn't remember. New handle for a hammer. I need a little bit more weight. That one there is from the 60s or 50s or maybe even the 40s. That was my great-grandfather's. A sledgehammer, believe it or not. Probably started off as a big sledgehammer and broke the handle and cut it off there. And imagine the things this has seen. I'm sitting here beating crap with it. I try to repurpose as much as possible. I got a trunk full of TV screen right now that I got out of the Lehigh. I clean the Lehigh up every so often. I can only do so much. But I mean, I pulled a lot of trash out of there. I repurposed a lot of it as well. Beer bottles especially. Then my trash kind of gets buried and it transforms. It could be a 5-gallon bucket full of trash. By the time I actually dump it, it could be about maybe a gallon of stones, because I go through everything and then I use everything I can as much as possible. Like, matter of fact, the wife's going to be using a lot of the chips that I make for inside her planterns and stuff. We'll put them in jars to decorate them, and people buy them. If not, well, they still serve a purpose. Okay, now we're getting a little thick here, so I have to bring the center line up. Hope this is a good position, Josh. That way you can see kind of like what's going on too, because I know you're still learning. I did pretty good in sales this weekend too. Sold some pretty nice stuff. My prices aren't outrageous either, because it's not that I don't feel my artwork's worth anything. I just, like I said before, I just don't want to see it pile up. And I just hope that people are happy with what they get. I sometimes throw a little extra goodies in there. Depends on, my mood. That skin's almost gone. Depending on how far I get with this at the moment, I might just let some of it on, but it's not that important to get it off. It really isn't. It's a very dry material as well. It just feels very dry. It doesn't feel so waxy like some jaspers I'm used to. Serape jasper is one I've monkeyed with already, and Serape jasper has a waxy feel to it. Once you start napping it, it feels a little spongy. So I haven't really messed with that anymore. It's a beautiful stone, so might come a day where I get back to it. I think points made out of Serape would be nice. Look at that. Took some of that red out. Look at those lines. Seeing this thing in person, it's incredible. This one might go in my personal collection. I hear the catbird. He's still hanging around. This morning I was watching a robin collecting, I thought was trash that the wife butchered up in the lawnmower, but it wasn't. It was actually flowers. So she's collecting those flowers and making a nest out of it. So I gotta keep an eye out, see where she's at, because I've got to see that nest. I bet that thing looks cool. I'm so glad I decided to move out here in Aquashikla. There's so many interesting things to see out here. Cranes. herring, I guess you call them. I don't know. They're big. They're huge. And I get to see them. Ducks. I know a lot of people are like, well, ducks? You can see ducks anytime. Long story short, Palmerton here is one of the most polluted places on the planet. For those of you heard this story, you're probably rolling your eyes right now. Oh, he talks about this all the time. Well, I'm going to tell the new people anyway. But anyway, the zinc company destroyed this area, and they're rebuilding it. They've been working on it since, they shut the plants down in '83. And I think it was the late 90s, early 2000. They started coming in with airplanes and trucks and planting over the mountain. Planes would come in. One would spread seed, one would spread water. And those years have passed. When you look at the mountain now versus what it was, because there was nothing there. Nothing. I mean, just dead tree stumps, if anything. Now it's green, it's lush. Yesterday when the sun was hanging over the top of the mountain, you could see the yellow line along the skyline. It's beautiful. What I'm seeing right now, I mean, there's still some spots that are thin, but there's big trees over there, big pine trees. There's big trees at the very top that are even bigger than the pine trees. And animals, wild turkey, ducks, rabbits, groundhogs, porcupines, bear. There was just a video not too long ago. There was a big bear running around town. Sadly, people will be like, oh, we got to shoot it. Not if I can help it, but I can't stop that. I'd rather see them chase the bear back where it belongs, but these are the things that we have now. And I know the locals appreciate seeing these things if they have any recollection of what happened. But there's a lot of new people moving in from different states. We won't get into that. And their first thing is destroy, kill. I guess when you're raised in the city, you're just not used to that. You're used to pigeons, which are the filthiest animals on the planet, and you're okay with that, and rats. You come out here, you see a porcupine, shoot it. You see a groundhog, shoot it. And then, of course, it's always the same thing. But my garden, put a cover over it. Build a garden somewhere in the air if you can. The bears have a right. The deer have a right. You can't take that property with you when you die. But you can take a good legacy with you. So straighten up and fly right, folks. As far as I'm concerned, anything that lives in my yard stays in my yard. Snakes, I won't kill them. Pretty sure I won't see a rattlesnake in my yard because they like rocks. And there ain't much of that here. It's just all flat land with high grass. So you got rat snakes, you got hognose. Those are harmless snakes. I've been educating the wife so she doesn't lose her shit per se. My daughter, my oldest one, she loves seeing that stuff. We were out here the one day, I had a snake and she's right there with me. She sat with me and watched me carve up fish. She's got it. You see an animal on your property, don't chase it. Was it really bothering you? So it dug in your garbage? I don't know. I just think it's sad. These are the reasons why there's hardly any animals in some places. Before you move into a place, do your research. The area is known for rattlesnakes, tarantulas. Don't move there. If it's known for bear, and you don't like bear, don't move there. Let your filthy dog shit everywhere. Sorry, I'm not a dog guy. I'm not saying I hate dogs, I'm just not a dog guy. Alright. Here's what we got. What I'm going to do is I'm going to clean it up. It's fairly flat. And then I'm going to poke at it with my notcher. See what happens. I think I'm going to leave it in this shape because I kind of like that. I think the point that I'm thinking of is called a howl. I'm not sure. You would not... Jeez, excuse me. Had some nasty food last night. Gonna notch straight down through here. And it leaves a diamond shape right here. Pretty cool looking point. I could also notch here, here, and here, and it turns out to a cross. I have one laying somewhere I would show you. Oh, there it is. This is a pretty cool shape. This is a really tiny one. See it? This one's actually going to Canada. This is part of a set that I'm making for a couple up there. It's actually, let's see if I can get something white behind it. It's made from a certain type of material of obsidian. That ain't helping. But it's what they call triple flow. Some places it's red, some places it's black, some places it's clear. The only way to really appreciate it is to hold it up to a light. Then again, you might be able to see that. Alright. Put that back where it belongs before I break it. New vacuum cleaner. I'm not allowed to use that either. I'm good with that too. I have a good wife. I'm not allowed to touch stuff. Okay. $38. Robin's back. Now she's collecting flowers again, the way it looks. So is the catbird. Catbirds are the bullies. Oh, look at you being all happy, Mr. Robin. Yeah, I'm gonna put a stop to that. Let me go get my boys, the Blue Jays and the Crows. I guess you can see that, huh? I've had a few people ask me, have you ever gotten anything in your eyes? Not yet, thank God. I have got shot in the glasses a few times. And when you look through my glasses, there's a few nicks. Some are from Stone, some are from Sophie. I put my glasses on the end stand. when she wants my attention or wants me to wake up, she goes up, gets in my face. If I don't move, I roll over. She'll follow me. And then it's kind of like her drastic last measure. All right, I know you don't like when I swat your glasses, so swat. She's so spoiled. I actually got the cellar door open. We have a fence at the bottom of it, the stairway, so she can come down and lay there. She likes to be with me. I have, where I'm sitting right now, I'm actually sitting in my garage. And I just don't want her going outside in case there's a larger bird overhead. I've seen cats get taken away. Nature is nature, but not if it's your beloved. Now Lucas, he's a different story. I feel sorry for the bird that tries to take him away. He's a meat bag full of razor blades, that boy. He's big, too. There's kind of my progress. As you can see, some of the skin's still on it. I'm good with that. I'm just completely amazed at that. Look at that. Those lines. I should really send this to Jack Crafty and let him do something with it. I know I can, but I'm just not that skilled yet. It's such a splendid looking rock. I bought actually I have as a gift from a friend. That's what this is for. And it does work well. I have one that I made, a long one, a short one, and I got the tire plug, and I still use this. It just works so great. I don't know why. So anybody out there new getting into this, don't hesitate. Give it a try. You can get these kits in Walmart for about $2. And that way if you get a flat tire, well, there's a bonus. Because now you have the tool. It doesn't wear out. I've been trying to sharpen it and it just doesn't want to be sharpened. But it works real well. Feels very comfortable in my hand. Wow, that's coming out nice. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of pushing in and down after I push in. You hear that snap? What that does, as I'll show you in a moment. You can do this with just about any rock. But just remember, if you try, that rock doesn't cooperate, it's 9 chances out of 10 it's not you, it's usually the rock. It's a good way to start learning a little bit about, I guess they call it lithics. Look at that. See what it's doing? Put a nice little sharp edge on there. Giving it some character. It needs character. In, down. In, down. In, down. Notice the duct tape on your fingers there, Dave. Yeah, you're going to want to do that with your 2 middle fingers if you get into indirect percussion. It adds a little bit less ouch. because you will experience a whole lot of ouch. All right. Especially while you're learning. Eventually you'll get to the point where you know what you're doing, sorta. And you'll experience a whole lot less of ouch, because after a long period of pain, it will end. It's just like anything else. You're learning something. Here comes the wife, I think. Hey, honey, I'm recording. Just so you know. They can't see you, so you're good.
Thank God, because I'm awkwardly crawling over a fence.
I was telling them all about your big adventures with the catbird.
Yeah, that was not enjoyable.
There's a couple spots right there. In, down. In, down. Alright, I think I'm going to let it there. See how nice that came out? I know some of you guys might be like, I could do better. Alright, you could. I'm good with that. I enjoy watching your stuff too. I'm sure you have your own channels. Not bad. Look at that. Alright. Well, I'm going to smoke a cigarette, drink some of my coffee. I want you guys to enjoy your Father's Day. I hope you enjoyed the video. And we'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.